My name is Katie Huggs, and I'm the gallery director at Waddell's Gallery.
Okay, Katie, what does a typical day look like for you for, let's say, the general public whenever they come into Waddell's?
Yeah, so we do custom framing, and we're a fine art gallery. And so a typical day, we'd have customers come in, bring us a few pieces for custom framing, and then we usually have some foot traffic come in and browse the gallery.
Awesome, and we just saw that because we had a lady come in here and she dropped a piece off for y'all to do some work. So that was cool. I wish we could capture some of that, but
I know it might happen again.
Yeah, it very well may. So how long have you been a part of the gallery here?
Yeah, so I came on board October of 2024, and so it's been about a year and a half.
Okay, awesome. What originally brought you to this gallery?
Yeah, so I graduated with a graphic design degree, and so I originally thought that I was going to go straight into an art career. I didn't. Life took me onto a different path, but the desire never left. And so when I guess a few years ago, I decided I was ready to make the change to go into a creative field, and the stars aligned, and this happened to be a position that was available. I ended up having some mutual friends that were involved here, and so it was a pretty perfect situation.
Awesome, yeah. And I just talking with you before, kind of off camera before we even talked about doing this, I could tell, you're very passionate about all of this.
Yes.
So you put in a lot of effort and time into it, so I know it means a lot to you.
Yes.
And in saying that, what do you personally love most about this place?
I think about this all the time. There's so much that I love about this place, but it comes down to the people, both the custom framing clients that we have and the artists that I work with. It's a passionate experience both ways, because I've got artists that are super passionate about what they do, and then I've got we have custom framing clients that come in and bring stuff that's really means a lot to them. It's meaningful things, and so we get to help them make it exactly what they want, a way to preserve it, and for them to admire it for the rest of their lives. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So the artists that you've mentioned before that you bring them in here and you host their work, how long does that usually last?
Yeah, so we do anywhere from 6-month to year-long contracts, and sometimes we renew those contracts if the art is successful. And so we are a rotating gallery though, so you will see over the next 6 months to a year, you'll see new pieces come in, old pieces go out, and in those 6-month and year-long contracts, we usually will rotate different pieces by that same artist in and out of the gallery.
Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. So the general public can just come in here, view the art that's displayed, and they can purchase the art here directly? Yes,
absolutely. Okay. So that's why I love having the gallery. We do have a website where you can browse everything online, but since we have so many original pieces in here, you really have to see them in person. I know that's cheesy, but it helps to see them in person. And it's a cool thing for Shreveport because we don't have a gallery quite like this, and so that was the whole goal. Was I wanted something that was different and bring that to Shreveport.
For sure, yeah. And I think walking in here, people are going to see, like, especially for me, the amount of frames that you can choose from here is pretty awesome. And plus, you can see behind Katie where David works and does all the framing for y'all. How long has David been with the company?
So David's been with Waddell's for at least 20 years, and I made a joke with him when I started. I was like, you don't look old enough to have been doing this for 20 years, but he started framing when he was 19 or 20. He was very young, and he won't say this to the camera, but it very much is his calling. It's his passion. Yeah. He's very passionate about it. He's very good at it. And so he started out in big box retailers. His creativity was too much for that. He needed a space to be able to create things that were special. And so he came on with Waddell's, like I said, about 20 years ago. And even though Susan and Wayne Waddell are no longer owners of the business, he was loyal to the company. He's going to stay with Waddell's as long as he can.
Yeah, he's definitely someone that's awesome to watch. You can tell he's definitely passionate about what he does.
Yeah.
Waddell's has been around for decades. Mm-hmm. What does that legacy feel like to you?
So there is I guess I have a sense of responsibility to the community because a lot of our customers are older than I am and have had a history with Waddell's, have been using Waddell's for years, and I do have the sense of loyalty to keep the quality and to make it a great experience. And it's kind of an honor for me and David both to be able to carry that on, just because we've got so many amazing dedicated customers and clients that still use us even through the move. This place has jumped around different locations in Shreveport, and we for decades have kept some of the same customers and continue to get new ones every day, which is awesome.
Yeah, we just like we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
the lady that just came in, she said she remembers, using y'all in the past.
Years ago, and probably hasn't been to this location yet. But no, we're thankful for the new business and the business that's always been there.
For sure. I mean, well, her coming here now is just one more person on the list that knows the location. So
Yes.
that's always good. I know you haven't been here that long, but how have you seen the gallery evolve over time that you've been here or even known of the gallery?
Yeah, so when I came on, although I have an art degree, when I came on, I was a little bit new to custom framing. And so I was new. Luckily, I've got David. He's been a great teacher for me as far as custom framing goes. But as it's evolved a lot, just from me bringing in different artists. And so it's grown as far as what we have to offer. And I've been able to work with a lot of these artists personally, and for at least a year now, most of them. And we've been able to bring in different things that we didn't have by that artist before, just getting to know the community, what they like and what they want to see art-wise. And then growing in the custom framing. It was a little quiet when I got here, and so and it was really just because of the location change. We just needed to get people to know that we were here, and so it's grown from day-to-day business. It's grown a lot, but also by the contents in the gallery. It's really expanded, and we have much more to offer now than we did a year and a half ago.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it's important too. Now people are going to see the person behind the camera.
I know. I made that joke with you. I do the social media, and it's very hard for me to sit up in front of the camera. But I think it's important because when you walk in, I'm the first person that you're going to see, and it's just me and David here on a day-to-day basis. And so it's important to introduce myself. Although it's hard, it is the best part of my job, is the connecting with people.
For sure. Well, you do a great job. And, like I said, people who talk to you about it can see that you're truly passionate about what you do here. So I just think it's important to, to highlight this business. And it's, because it is in a location that is kind of, people wouldn't think about. So what better way than social media to get you out? And then also too, now the face matches the content. So,
right.
So what goes into custom framing that most people don't realize?
A lot, and that you can go into a lot of detail, but I think that custom framing is such a past phrase. Like it's a phrase that we use a lot. We almost skip over the fact that it is very custom. And so all of the molding, all of the mat boards, they come in 9-foot sticks. The mat boards come in a typical size, and everything from how your piece is floated, how recessed back it is into the frame, everything, the kind of glass you use, everything is 100% custom. And so that's something that I think they drop it off at the framers and they don't think too hard about it. But just like yesterday, David was back there hand stitching a quilt. Yesterday and today, hand stitching a quilt, a huge one. And I think that when you drop it off, that's the luxury of custom framing, is that you don't really know what goes into it, but it is a lot of hands-on, labor-intensive work, especially with archival stuff. Everything that we do, we make sure it can be undone. So we're very careful with everybody's pieces, with each project. There's a lot of time that's put into each one.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely attest to that, because it definitely looks, even when y'all had this laid out, every time I've been here and seen it laid out with all the different matting, and then the different choosing the different framing, it definitely makes a difference how the photo is layered with the matting. So to me, I didn't even think. I just thought, a frame and a piece of glass and we're done.
Yeah, and that's our job. We want it to be easy. A lot of people come in a little bit nervous that don't do a lot of custom framing, and I encourage them, you can be as picky as you want, but for the most part, you can leave your stuff here you can sit in that chair and we will do everything and you can tell us yes or no. And so we try to hide how intense of a process it is to make it easy for the customer, but really, really quality on our end.
Awesome. Well, that takes the guesswork out of everything if you just
Right.
do it for them. Do you have a favorite type of piece to work with?
As far as custom framing,
Yeah.
I actually asked David this the other day because my favorite things that people bring in are different than his because he's the one putting it together. I love small things, everything from pins and brooches to little needle points. I like the small pieces because you can be so creative, and people are usually a little brave with their smaller pieces, so we'll use fun frames, colors, mats, and things like that.
Yeah.
But nothing beats framing a really neat piece of original art as well, even if it's just a canvas and a floater.
Yeah. In your opinion, what role does art play in people's lives?
I think it plays a really big part in people's lives, more than they realize, because I think that you can step into a space that is full of really neat art and you might not realize that that is why it's giving you the feeling that it's giving. But when you go into a really well curated space that has good intentional art and original art, it has a different feeling.
What does Waddell's mean to the local community?
I guess it depends on who you ask, because I've had customers come in strictly for art, and then we've had people come in for framing and people that come in for both. I know that we're really appreciated by our art collectors for having the art selection that we do, because I've been able to take some buyers and turn them into collectors with some of the artists that we have that have collected multiple pieces by one artist that they've fallen in love with. But as far as the community goes, we've served a lot of people in custom framing, and I know that we're trusted, and we've become an important part of many people's lives.
Yeah, and like I said, the framing alone, y'all have endless amounts of frames.
Yes,
I mean, it's
tons of options.
Yeah,
we
tons.
need more wall space.
Yeah.
It's a battle between my art and the custom frames of who's going to get extra wall space.
Yeah, for sure. And the framing is easily accessible to y'all.
Yes, so we are in a really unique kind of position because our next door neighbor is Mosaic Art Group, and we buy all of our materials from them. And so it's just a unique opportunity to have the ability to order from them and have them be so close to us. It's a great partnership that we have with them, and it allows us to just offer so many different types of materials: frames, mat boards, glass, everything.
Oh, that is awesome, because it's like a one-stop shop, and two partners working together to create a product for the community.
Yes.
So, yeah, that is great.
I'm thinking of that. You did ask me a question about the why is original art, or why is the art important? We went through a large phase of mass produced and things like that, and I think people are turning towards their loyalty to original artists, to local artists, because that's something that we can't let die. We can't let that go away. And so we're very lucky to have so much talent here. And I think it does make an impact in people's lives when they can have a personal connection to the pieces that are in their home and say, I met that artist, or I'm familiar with the artist, or I'm a fan and I collect many pieces by this artist. This is who they are. There's a story behind it, which adds a lot of depth.
Yeah, for sure. Because being able to say I have a one of something
Yeah.
is very unique
It's
and
the
special.
only, everything in here other than the prints is the only one that you're ever going to get of it, which is really neat.
Yeah, that's good that you mentioned that, because a lot of people will generally not think about that. But as a collector or something special, one of something is all you've got. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It will not be anymore.
No, it never will. And I get asked the question, art only appreciates over time because it is a one of one or original art. And so it maintains its value and it stays a collectible forever.
That's a good point. What would be a reason that you would suggest someone to come to Waddell's instead of, just a general going and buying a picture frame at a store?
Yeah. So I would encourage everybody to come in. If you've never custom framed before, it can be a little nerve-wracking because you don't know what to expect. But like I said before, everything is so custom And so when you come in and bring a piece, or even if you don't have your piece with you, just looking around, you can get ideas. We can answer so many questions. We try to be as helpful as we can. We don't care if you end up, I really don't, if you end up buying a frame or not. It's the passion behind it.
Yeah.
And I love to educate people on both the custom framing and the art, but getting the community in here and seeing what we're about and having them realize that the options are endless, and we will do whatever we can to get you exactly what you want, and try to get you at a price that you're comfortable with.
For sure.
The same thing with art. I tell everybody that what you see in here is not everything that I have access to. These artists, a lot of them have studios full of pieces, and so I curate the gallery, but the connections that I have with some of these artists is very beneficial, because at the end of the day, we want to make our customers happy, and we're passionate about it, and we love it because we're able to make our customers and our collectors happy.
Yeah,
and so
that's awesome.
any way we can do that. You don't have to have anything in mind. Stop in, ask as many questions as you want.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, you have some downtime here and there, so it's.
I do. Yes, we have waves of being busy, and then we have waves of quiet. And when we have waves of quiet, I'm not kidding. Me and David will come out here. We'll grab a print from the print bin, and we will pull frames like kids. Like, we will pull frames and mat boards and play with it as if we don't do it enough on a day-to-day basis. But we have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Well, you're passionate about what you do, so you're always trying to find unique representations of what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and challenge each other. We kind of have different styles, and so it's fun to play off of each other's ideas.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and just to end it, you are going to host events. We don't necessarily have to say dates, because I can post some information about it. But what type of events do you have coming up that you want to talk about, and also, like, what does the future look like?
Yeah, so I have one event in particular. I did it last year. It was the Spring Pottery Fair, which was a huge hit, and it was the first one that I had ever done. I didn't know what the reaction was going to be with the community. It was way bigger than I could have imagined. We had, I think, 9 artists in here. We sold almost 100 pieces of pottery. I think we had 300 plus pieces in here. And so I was trying to have 2 events last year. I couldn't do the 2 pottery fairs. I've been asked every couple weeks, are you having another one? So we're having another one April 18th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm super excited. We've got 10 artists this year. Some are returning from last year, some are new. And so we'll have a huge variety for people to come and shop and visit with artists and explore the ceramic pieces.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a bigger event than you expect.
I think it is, because it was already huge last year, and we were still trying to get people to figure out that we were down here. So that turnout surprised me. So I'm a little nervous in a good way. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'll need probably some reinforcements to help me bag up all the pottery.
For sure. Yeah. I think it'll be a great event. Plus, like I said, it's just going to bring more attention to Waddell. So I think it's a great thing. What about the future? Do you have anything planned for the future?
Yeah. So what's great about this is it's a creative space, and so I think all the time of what we could do as far as art exhibits and different events. We've had shop and sip events, and we've had seasonal events, but I'm really wanting to get into exhibits. And so I was just talking to the customer that came in a second ago. I'm still brainstorming on some ways to get short-term exhibits in here, like 4 or 5 week long exhibits, just to bring more variety. And like I said, to get more artists in here, because with those 6-month and year-long contracts, we will hold on to the same artists for a while, and it's fun to get new artists in here. It's fun for me to see how the community reacts, but it's also great to give those artists a chance to be in a gallery setting and to sell their pieces.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, Katie, I definitely appreciate your time, and we're going to let you get back to your busy schedule. And maybe again we'll do a follow-up with some of the framing and some of the work behind the scenes with David.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting.
All right, well, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.